Stop smashing the crap out of your drums. Volume. We're going to talk about volume and getting the biggest sound out of your drums, particularly your snare drum, with the least amount of effort. Because quite frankly, a lot of y'all out there hitting your drums way too hard. Because your idea of getting volume out of your kit is slightly flawed. I don't want to use the word wrong. I'm going to say it's flawed. I'm going to show you a smarter, much better way to get the biggest sound out of your drums with the least amount of effort. All right? I think the misconception is that in order for you to get a louder sound out of your kit, you hit the drum harder. Okay, so a lot of people are they're kind of coming from the penthouse, boom, and then they're cracking the crap out of their snare drum. And I get it. I mean, a rock show needs to be a rock show, but still, you're risking a lot of injury when you do stuff like that. Okay, there's a lot more physicality going on there that needs to, and you're putting yourself at risk. First of all, you're going to be spending a fortune on sticks because you're going to be breaking them like crazy. You're going to be cracking cymbals. You're going to be doing all kinds of unnecessary stuff. So I just want to give you a tip on volume, how to get the most volume out of your snare. And again, like I was saying, the misconception is that you want to hit your drum harder, right? The stronger you hit it, the more volume you get. No. Volume doesn't come from how hard you hit the drum. Volume comes from velocity, all right? So instead of bringing your stick down harder, you want to bring it down faster, all right? This is not my concept. This is something that I learned before y'all call me out. This is a JoJo Mayer tip that I got years and years ago from one of his brilliant videos. And, you know, the whole idea is just to learn how to use the physics of your stick, the physical principles of your stick, to get the volume as opposed to, you know, cracking the heck out of it. So let me show you my approach to getting volume out of my snare, all right? These things are only gonna get so loud. There's a volume cap on these things, all right? There's gonna come a point where no matter how hard you hit it, it's not gonna get any louder. It's like trying to get your car more wet with a hose. It's just not gonna happen, okay? Anything above that line is just wasted energy. So my approach to volume, I always like to stay nice and loose, settled on the kit. My elbows are normally tucked in, and I can still get all the volume I need by using just a simple sort of whip principle, all right? Now what I like to do is use my wrist as sort of a starting point for the amount of volume that I want to get. The higher I raise my wrist, the harder that drum is going to get hit, because I'm bringing the tip of the stick down. Like once I, boom, hit that point there, tip of the stick is way up here. When I bring it down nice and fast, 100% volume I'm going to get out of this. I don't have to do any of this kind of stuff, all right? As you've seen from the opening clip, I was getting plenty. Elbow, boom, still tucked in, looking cool, looking loose, and I'm getting all the volume I need just from doing that, all right? So, some of y'all might, want to think of the molar thing. If that helps you out, that's cool. I guess that is what I'm doing. I don't know. I never really thought of it that way, but my first movement is bringing the wrist up like this, right there, and then I just drop it. When I drop the wrist, everything's connected. So I drop the wrist, boom, tip of the stick comes up, and then I whip that sucker down, boom, I can get all the volume that I need to get. So if extravagance and animation is your thing, if that's part of your rock show, you can still do that. You can still do all of that without injuring yourself. So I'm going to hit my snare drum a couple of times. Just take a look at the mechanics happening here. You'll see what I'm talking about. You know what that feels like? You ever hit a home run? You ever hit a fastball in the sweet spot and you hit that thing in the right spot in such a way that you don't even feel the ball hit the bat? That's what this feels like. No matter how hard I smack this thing, it's not going to get any louder than what you just heard. So before you start to develop any bad habits, I want you to think of that, okay? Think of staying relaxed, staying comfortable. Keep your elbows nice and tucked in. And again, your first movement is not going to be this, all right? It's not that. Your first movement is going to be this. You're going to take that wrist and you're going to, boom, raise it up just like that right there. And then all you're going to do is just whip the tip of that stick down, just like you're cracking a whip. Whack, just like that. So you end up with this super fluid kind of motion where you get this whole thing happening. Another reason why this is important is that you can play at full volume for a much longer period of time without burning yourself out. Like you're never going to redline just doing this, right? So it's the same thing, with hitting your toms. Again, like if extravagance and animation and all that is part of your show, you can do that. All you got to do is lift your wrist up higher and bring the stick down, and you can still look cool from the back of the arena. So just remember that super important tip. You want to get more volume out of your drums. You do not bring the stick down harder. You bring it down faster. Thanks for watching this video. Before I go, I just need to mention, if you really want to support this channel and look cool while you're doing it, hit that link in the description box. This is my merch. This is all me right here. Head on over to the merch shop, get yourself a snapback, get yourself a hoodie, get yourself a t-shirt. I got all kinds of stuff in there. Doing that kind of thing helps me to continue doing what I'm doing. So think about it. Grab something on the way out if you're thankful. Go ahead and drop a comment below if you got one. Share this video if you dig it. Like, subscribe. See you next video.